8 symptoms of a psychopath, not a genius. People frequently equate psychopath with a threatening and immediately identifiable villain in a Hollywood film. According to Psychology Today, nothing could be further from the truth. The terrifying aspect about psychopaths is that they do not appear aggressive or threatening like Hannibal Lechter or Norman Bates. They may appear entirely normal and display no extreme or aggressive actions. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for joining us today. Today we'll discuss the 8 symptoms of a psychopath, not a genius. Please watch the entire video to get all of the information, and guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell notification. Alright then, let's get started. The belief that creativity and psychopathology are inextricably linked dates back to antiquity, to the time of Aristotle, who famously declared, "No brilliant intellect has lived without a touch of crazy." Various psychiatrists have developed this notion over the centuries. Lombroso, a well-known forensic psychiatrist, maintained that brilliance and insanity were closely related indications of an underlying degenerative neurological illness towards the end of the 19th century. It is consistent with the widely held belief that even though creativity is the most sought-after attribute in industries as diverse as commerce, the arts, science, and sports, there is a lengthy list of prominent creative achievers who have suffered from psychopathology. Psychiatric research like historiometric studies indicates a higher rate and intensity of symptoms among notable innovators, particularly those involved in creative innovations. Depression, alcoholism, and suicide appear to be the most typical psychopathological issues that creators encounter. Moreover, the data suggests that creativity and mental illness are related, which adds to the findings from the historiometric study. Although highly creative people tend to have higher scores on various psychopathological indicators, their levels are rarely so high that they constitute clear-cut and glaring psychopathology. Instead, their results might fall in the middle of the normal and abnormal ranges. Many additional features of creative people may mitigate the consequences of psychopathological problems. Creatives in particular may exhibit high degrees of ego strength and self-sufficiency. They can also exercise metacognitive control over their psychopathological symptoms, using unusual ideas to produce rather than having bizarre thoughts reap their benefits. Psychometric research emphasizes that eminent creators may be on the same spectrum of psychopathological syndromes and might display a less severe form of it and thus use it to their advantage. This finding differs from psychiatric and historiometric studies and forces us to identify the correlation further through the neuroscience of creativity. Here are the 8 symptoms of a psychopath. Number 1. They lie with ease. Be very concerned if you catch someone lying effortlessly and without flinching. Psychopaths could pass polygraph tests because they do not show telltale lying signs, such as an elevated heart rate. According to a study conducted by the University of Wisconsin Medicine, psychopaths have scaled back connections between the part of the brain responsible for emotions such as empathy and guilt and the amygdala, which moderates fear and anxiety. According to study author Michael Konings, an assistant professor of psychiatry, both structural and functional distinctions in the brains of people diagnosed with psychopathy. Number 2, they're fantastic actors. Psychopaths are the equivalent of great actors in that they would play whatever role they believe you want them to play to exploit you. As per INC, they enjoy duping people into believing that the image they endeavor is real when it is a figment of the imagination. They're skilled performers who hide underneath masks and are skilled at impersonating emotions they will never truly feel. One of their well-known tricks is to make others feel sorry for them. Number 3, they feast on kindness. People who are extremely caring and sensitive, empaths, are especially vulnerable to psychopaths. Empaths working in helping professions like teaching and nursing or in psychopaths reap the benefits of their generous nature. Empaths exemplify everything that the psychopath does not. Psychopaths lack empathy, so they seek out and decimate those who do. Number 4, they will defend and they will gaslight. The title comes from the 1944 film movie Gaslight, in which Ingrid Bergman plays the wife of a man who gradually persuades her she is paranoid and ill. He shrinks the gaslight while persuading her she's hallucinating, causing her to doubt her sanity. Psychopaths and narcissists use this strategy, also known as crazy making, instinctively to dominate and control others. People who have been gaslighted feel worn down, confused, ganged up on, and defenseless. An immature person is easier to manipulate. Number 5, they are narcissists and have mood disorders. Psychopaths are obsessed with appearance, power, and social standing. They frequently suffer from delusions of grandeur and extreme narcissists. They believe that only a few exceptional people could understand them and deserve to be in presence of a psychopath. A conceit of grandeur is the corrected, false belief that one possesses good characteristics such as genius, stardom, omnipotence, or wealth, writes John M. Grohol, PSYD, or Psych Central. There is a widespread perception that mania is a source of creativity, which is vividly demonstrated by the worldwide release of many fashion products that range from perfumes to goggles that may be labeled mania. Research shreds of evidence do not always endorse popular beliefs. However, there is a strong link between mood disorders and artistic creativity in this case. According to research, subjects with cyclothymia and first relatives of subjects with manic depression scored higher in creativity than controls. Similarly, several other biographical studies, such as one conducted by Ludwig on over 1,000 creators, have consistently found higher incidences of bipolar disorders in samples of important personalities. Anderson's studies using structured diagnostic interview sessions to assess creative writers at the highly esteemed University of Iowa Writers' Workshop revealed that 43% of 30 participants met the criteria for bipolar spectrum disorders, compared to 10% of a based descriptive regulate group of people matched for age, gender, and education. Whereas the link is consistent, several studies indicate that those with minor symptoms of bipolar disorder or a family history of bipolar disorder are more likely to be creative than those with full-blown bipolar disorder, a finding dependable on prior historiometric studies. Number 6. They will be your hoax soulmate. Psychopaths frequently resemble the people who they're targeting. They claim to have similar morals and values, and their personalities and characteristics appear strangely similar. Sociopaths appreciate the essence of incompatibility, says Donna Anderson, the founder of Love Fraud, a new site that teaches people to recognize and recover from toxic relationships. They comprehend it so well that they try to imitate you. That's the chameleon component of their personality, or lack thereof. Because sociopaths lack real internal substance such as beliefs, values, and emotional attachments to people or principles, they can put out on a new persona as conveniently as you can put on a new coat. They shape the persona to fit you. Number 7. They're frequently empty on the inside. Psychopaths live their lives concealing a deep, dark secret. They cannot feel emotions or connections like normal people. Psychopaths, according to Anna Lambden, a co-founder and clinical psychotherapist at Logos Therapy Center in Chicago, are extremely perceptive and good at reading other people's emotions. They use their expertise of emotional responses as an ultimate objective of manipulation. They cannot connect emotionally with others and have no primary attachments. Psychopaths are empty and bored behind their charming exterior. It's as if they're mimes, consistently emulating and having to perform and always missing the essence of values of life. Number 8. Substance abuse dilemmas. While the medical literature generally has a negative attitude towards drug use, Beveridge and Yorston argued that the lay public and artists have the opposite attitude. These value drugs like alcohol for their ability to spark new creative ideas, and brave drinking has traditionally been known for artistic personalities. Rather than being regarded as a sign of personal failure, drug or alcohol abuse is evidence of artistic integrity. While studies on alcoholic intoxication show positive effects on the creative process, research findings on excessive alcohol consumption show mixed results, similar to studies that linked other psychiatric disorders with inventiveness. When Ludwig studied the writers and his recognition of prior precisely, he discovered that alcohol use was detrimental to a business in more than 75% of the sample, particularly in the later stages of their drinking. Ernest Hemingway may be a good example of hypocrisy. He won a Nobel Prize in literature throughout his days of intoxication, but later tried to commit suicide. Except for alcohol, many writers were addicted to drugs such as opium, of which Charles Dickens is a perfect example, having lost his life as a result of his addiction to this drug. Well, that's all we have for today. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.